I'm sharing with you the startup screen as if I'm logging in as a user for the very first time. So I'm just going to go quickly through the tutorial, but just know that as you're logging in for the first time, you'll be met with this same experience to welcome you and walk you through the tips of how to get started and make the best experience possible within Simply AP. So we have this welcome screen so that you can start walking through step by step. You're presented with a list of invoices that have been already read by our AI-powered OCR and validated with Business Central. Information has been pulled in on the company, the vendor, the type of invoice, non-PO versus PO, as you can see here, the total, the currency, the company, and who that invoice has already been assigned to or claimed by, depending on the perspective and your experience with your invoices. So then you can easily search by any number of criteria, the vendor, the purchase order number, the invoice number, et cetera, and you're walked through that experience again with the tooltips in the product. And then as you move on to the next step, the experience will be to add an invoice, or as in often the case, invoices will be emailed into the queue here, or of course they can be scanned or uploaded using that little plus button right there. And then once you're ready to process your invoices, you simply click on the row to get the invoice information. Now, I'm going to select this invoice right here at the top of the queue, and we can see that it's already been assigned to somebody who's working the queue, and we see the value of the line item information being pulled in. It's a non-purchase order invoice. I'm not going to be able to claim this because somebody else is working this invoice in the system. Now, if this was a purchase order related invoice and everything matched, let's just take a quick look at one of those, we can see that the coded amount is $94. As the $94 total displays on the invoice, we can set Simply AP up such that this will go straight into Business Central. And that's what I'm going to show you the end result of with an example here. It's just as easy to get started with the admin side. But when we go into Business Central, when we see an invoice that has been compared, the line item level and the header level for that invoice, if everything matches, I don't even need to see this invoice in the Simply AP queue. It comes straight into Business Central. And then when I click on this view button right here, I'm presented with the invoice and I see simply that it's already been created in the ERP, in Business Central in this case, and I can see that each one of these line items matched. All this information is going to have been created in the invoice. It's a completely touchless process from the receipt of invoice, reading the invoice header and line item data, comparing it to what's in Business Central, comparing it to the receiving transaction to make sure that we have a true three-way match, and then we create that transaction. Now, a quick peek for those of you who would be in the admin role, the setup there is going to be just as simple, and you have these setup and starting guides to walk you through step by step, connecting to Business Central with integration, adding your identity provider and connecting to Azure AD, connecting to your Business Central companies, and adding your users. And I simply click on the little check mark to get back to my invoice queue, and I'm ready to process the next invoice.